What's up, all you movie lover badasses out there? Fat Samurai Guy here, and today's video I'm going to be going over a lot of the films that I didn't get a chance to do actual full reviews from last year of 2016. I'm not going to give any big, huge, long, drawn-out plot synopsises or anything. I'm just going to quickly go through all these movies to let you guys know what I thought of them. So let's do this. 13 Hours, directed by Michael Bay, really surprised me. I'm not the biggest Michael Bay fan. I mean, I enjoyed The Rock. I enjoyed the first Transformers movie. The Bad Boy films are fun for what they are. But other than that, I'm not really a huge fan of Michael Bay, so I had really low expectations watching this, and I really enjoyed it. I was very surprised. Good job, Bay. All of the characters that were portrayed in the film were very cliche. They weren't really that interesting. You knew which one was going to die. But when the action started to kick in and these guys put their lives on the line to save those people, man, I was hooked. So really enjoyed 13 Hours. Meet the Blacks sucked. It sucked. Man, it's, wow. Wow, it's really been a long time since I've seen a movie this bad. Holy shit. I've seen some of Epps' stand-up performances, and I think he's funny. If you give him the right roles in movies, he can be funny there too. But this was just so stupid. And not stupid funny, okay? Just horribly bad. Okay, just so bad, okay? Epps looked bored. He looked like he owed somebody a favor. Everyone, including himself, seemed like they were ad-libbing from scene to scene. I'm not shitting you. It seemed like they were just making shit up, talking from scene to scene. As soon as the movie started, I knew I was in some serious trouble here. As soon as the movie started, it literally was around the 45-minute mark when I finally chuckled at something. Not even laughed, but I finally just at something. 45-minute mark. And even the film's own plot didn't make any sense. The movie's supposed to be spoofing the Purge films. Epps' whole plan was to move where the rich people are, because there's no purging out there with rich people. And I'm like, did anybody who wrote this script watch the Purge films? Yeah, this was shit. This is fucking shit. Pass. Kung Fu Panda 3 was fun. It was entertaining. It wasn't a bad movie, but I was a little bit disappointed with it. I enjoyed the first Kung Fu Panda, and the second one was even better in my opinion. I had low expectations in this franchise, and I was pleasantly surprised. They were a lot of fun, they were great. But with the first two films, kind of felt like, you know, maybe 10-year-olds to adults or 9-year-olds up to adults could enjoy the movie. This movie felt like it was just made for 5-year-olds. I mean, there was a little bit too much boing. I mean, the first two films had the boing, okay? You're gonna have the slapstick, all right? But this was just like, oh, okay, all right, okay, 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds will love this movie. Now, a lot of people out there, they think this is the best one. They think it's the best one. I've seen A+ reviews and 5 out of 5 stars, and I was just like, okay. Next up is the horror film, The Witch. Now, when I saw the trailer a while back, it really didn't show that much, so my interest was piqued at the time. And so when I finally got around to watching it, I didn't really know what I was getting. I really didn't know what I was about to experience. So my expectations were really low. And I enjoyed it. At first I was a little concerned. I thought maybe I might have a little bit of difficulty of understanding what the characters are saying. And the type of language, you know, we're going back to the year 1630, okay? we're going way back, all right? Old school here, old school. I thought the way they were speaking might have been a little hard to understand, but after 15 minutes of it, you get used to it and it's perfectly fine. This movie was really an odd experience for me because it's one of those movies, it's one of those slow burn movies. I was not expecting an action film. I was not expecting a non-stop slasher horror thrill ride, okay? I didn't know what to expect. So I was just patient watching the film. But it's one of those movies where nothing happens. Nothing happens, not a lot happens in this movie, but yet I was still interested. It's very strange. Maybe it was the director's directing, maybe it was the amazing, haunting horror soundtrack. But yeah, not a lot really happens. And when things do happen, it's like, oh shit, there are a lot of people out there, and I totally get it, I totally understand, okay, that will find this movie incredibly boring and will hate this movie, okay? The film may have been a little bit overhyped, so I understand. And there are a lot of people out there that don't really like the ending, but I do. I really like the ending because it kind of made sense. I'm not gonna ruin the ending, but it was one of those, well, you know, if I'm in that situation, fuck it. London Has Fallen. A movie that should get a 2.5 realistically, or a 2.9, okay? It's bad. The CGI is bad, the acting's bad, everything is bad. I'm sorry, but the Angela Bassett character from the first movie, Olympus Has Fallen, I don't remember her talking at all with Gerard Butler or forming some kind of relationship. But yet in this movie, she's being asked to be the godmother of his child. Like, wait, did we miss a movie in between here? And then you know she was gonna die. Fuck spoilers for this movie, okay? Fuck spoilers, okay? We know she was gonna die, all right? And it was just kind of like, I just felt like a waste. But you know, Aaron Eckhart and Gerard Butler, they're fun together. But yeah, it's bad. It's a bad movie, but the action, I was not disappointed with the action sequences in this movie. The first film, in my opinion, is still better than this one, but it still had that 80s, just violent, badass, I don't give a fuck type of action, you know, that I love and crave. I mean, I'm trying to think of a lot of action heroes that are in mainstream movies and theater nowadays, and I can't, as of right now, I can't really remember a hero, okay, an action lead, that basically slowly stabs one of the bad guys and enjoys it. Just slowly just fucks him up. Fuck you, and I'm enjoying this. And then you got Aaron Eckhart, who's the president, goes up to Gerard Butler and goes, was that necessary? And he goes, nope. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is awesome. I like it. Yeah, so this is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine of the year, because everything, I'm telling you, everything is bad. Everything is bad. But if you just want to just waste some time and watch some badass action and just Gerard Butler, man, just fucking stabbing dudes in the gut, just doesn't give a fuck. I had fun. Zootopia. I enjoyed Zootopia. It was a lot of fun. It was funny. It had very beautiful animation. Very entertaining. The film had a pretty good message for the younglings that are watching the movie. So that was nice. I don't know about it getting a perfect rating though. I mean, we got another A+, 10 out of 10 stars. I don't know if it deserves that much or that high of a rating. It was, like I said, it was a very entertaining animated film. Highly recommend it, but I don't know about going that high. Sing Street. Now, I'll be honest. This is not really my kind of movie. I mean, I've seen all kinds of movie genres. I'm well versed, okay? But in terms of like, I'm sitting down chilling and I'm browsing through Netflix and I see Sing Street and I read the plot synopsis and it's about a boy that forms a fake band, but he's trying to make it into a real band to impress a girl. I probably would have just went blip and clicked into something else. But I heard a lot of good things about it and I sat down and gave it a shot and man, I really enjoyed Sing Street. I really liked the music. But yeah, there's really not that much to say about the film. I mean, it's funny, you got pretty good performances. Again, like I said, I love the music. I don't know, you never know, I might go out and buy the soundtrack. Fat Samurai Guy, what kind of metalhead are you, man? Keanu. I have not seen any full seasons of Key and Peele, the TV series. I've seen a few sketches here and there, a few skits. A buddy of mine who's a huge fan of the show is always sending me skits once in a while. And I find them funny. I crack up and watch them. So them getting their own movie, I was interested. And it's funny. It's fun. I mean, it's not great. Not a lot of the jokes hit. But for what it is, it's fun. If you like stupid funny, you'll enjoy Keanu. Ratchet and Clank, a film that should not have been in the movie theaters. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's fun. The animation's okay. Lady Fatblood's a huge fan of the video game series, and I enjoy watching her play those games. They're cool games. They're really good games. But as a movie, it was a nice, fun little animated film that I think I would have appreciated more if it was released straight to video for like cheap. The Neon Demon. Neon Demon's pretty good. It's not great. It's definitely not great. Gorgeous, beautiful looking movie, man. I mean, the cinematography in this movie is just like, wow. And probably one of the best electrical soundtracks this year. I'm gonna have to pick it up. The acting performances were very well done. Ellie Fanning was very good. The actresses that played the models, they did a good job as well as an odd role for Keanu Reeves. He played a dick in this movie. I was not expecting that at all. But yeah, I can't really recommend this movie unless you guys are in the mood for a very odd thriller, something a little weird. If that's what you're in the mood for, then you'll probably like The Neon Demon. The Last King, a film set in Norway in the year 1206. The film is about a king's illegitimate son is sent off in secret and is guarded by these two men, due to those that want to be next in power want the son killed. So another movie I found entertaining. I really wanted to love it though. And with a badass cover like that, I kind of expected badass action, okay? I mean, I'm talking like Game of Thrones, like warfare, like sword battles, violence. That's what I was expecting. You did get a few sword battles here and there, and you did get some violence, which was fine. But when your skiing sequences are more interesting and more exciting than your sword battles, well, I was a little disappointed. Still a good movie though. Still recommend you watching it. All right, back to Stupid Funny. Sausage Party. It was funny. It was funny. Again, another movie that I wouldn't rank up there as one of the great comedies, but you know, for what it was, talking food, I mean, come on. Were people's expectations that high? And again, not all the jokes hit, not all the jokes landed, but there was definitely some funny moments, especially the end sequence. You guys know which one I'm talking about. One of my favorite films is Hell or High Water. Really enjoyed this, man. Get really great performances from Ben Foster. The guy is always good, okay? Unless you miscast the motherfucker in movies like Warcraft. But Ben Foster, pretty much 80% of the time, is always great. But Chris Pine, man, he was really good in the movie as well. And Jeff Bridges is always Jeff Bridges, man. I mean, the guy's always great. You have these brothers that are going around robbing banks, being chased by Jeff Bridges. And what I liked about the movie is that it definitely had that modern day Western feel, which I really enjoyed. Not an action movie, okay? It's not an action movie, all right? Don't expect non-stop action, okay? It's not that type of movie, but definitely well done. Now, I did not get a chance to see Hacksaw Ridge, which is killing me. I really, really wanted to see that last year, but I did see Mel Gibson's other project called Bloodfather, and that was really entertaining. So the movie is about Mel Gibson, who plays an ex-con who ends up meeting his daughter that he hasn't seen for years, and he ends up protecting her from these drug dealers. Again, not really an action movie, more of a thriller. If any of you out there were craving to see Mel Gibson as a badass again, this is the movie. I mean, he's a beast. And again, he kills it with his acting performance. His daughter sometimes got a little annoying in the movie, but I think that was the point. But yeah, you want to check out a good thriller? Highly recommend Bloodfather. Imperium, starring Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel's been doing a pretty phenomenal job of not being typecasted as the Harry Potter kid. He's playing all kinds of crazy, weird roles. But in this movie, he plays a young FBI agent willing to prove himself in the field, so he goes undercover as a white supremacist. And this movie has some pretty good moments of tension building throughout. Like, are they gonna find out or not? I mean, throughout the movie, there's some good moments here and there. The only thing that really kept me from giving this film a higher score is the climax was a little weak. The movie kept building up to something, and then it was just like, okay, we're done. That's it. And it felt really rushed. Other than that, you know, pretty good drama. Rob Zombie's 31 was another disappointment for me. I did like it though. I did like the movie, but I didn't love it. I was really excited for this film after I saw the trailer a while back, because it was like a mixture of The Running Man, but you know, more violent maybe. And I was really excited, and I was bored, man. I was bored. And I wasn't really even expecting a non-stop action thrill ride. I was expecting a pretty good horror gore fest. And we couldn't even get that. I mean, the gore was either cut or edited from the movie, but the film really wasn't that gory. And none of the characters were likable. Anytime there was any crazy action, you had a lot of handheld camera movement, a little bit of shaky cam, and I was just like, ugh, can we see the chainsaws trying to cut people, please? And I'm sorry, but, you know, God bless her, but Sherry Moon Zombie, Rob Zombie's wife, needs to stop acting in his movies. I mean, her acting was really bad. I mean, really bad. I mean, Are you crying or laughing? The only awesome thing about the movie is the performance by Richard Brake, playing the character of Doomhead. When this guy's on screen and he speaks, you stop and you pay attention. And this guy's fucking nuts. He's crazy. And his character opens up the film. So you have this really cool, intense intro with the character. But then you don't see him until the very end of the damn movie. And even that felt wasted and rushed. So again, there were some things I did like, but overall it was disappointing. All right, here we go, The Magnificent Seven. Okay, now I was really entertained by this movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and I guess that's all that's supposed to matter in a Western. I mean, Westerns are typically dead in the mainstream, movie audience. Westerns are dead. No one watches Westerns anymore. So the fact that we got a Western on screen and it was at least this entertaining is definitely an achievement. And I'm a big fan of Anton Fuqua as a director. The movie had fun characters, fun performances, had some good action sequences, cinematography looked great, the movie looked fantastic. But when I got out of the theater, I'm walking to my car and I'm like, I was entertained by this movie, I really enjoyed it, but what's keeping me from loving this movie? Why am I not giving this a 5-star rating? What is holding me back? I'm a big fan of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. That's a 5-star movie right there. I did enjoy a lot the original Magnificent Seven. So I went back and I popped in the old Blu-ray of the original Magnificent Seven starring Steve McQueen and Yul Brynner. And I watched that and I was like, there it is. That's what this new movie's missing. Character development. The motivations behind a lot of the new characters played by Vincent D'Onofrio and Chris Pratt and all that, they're not really explained that well. Like, you don't really know why they're there. Like, why are they risking their lives? I mean, you could say, well, they just need the money or whatever, but I mean, why are they really risking their lives? Fighting this fucking army. I mean, come on, admit it, the worst one was the Indian. I mean, the Indian was a badass, okay? But come on, the way he joined the group, Denzel takes the heart of an animal and eats it, and then the Indian just joins them. What? And yeah, was the action in the new movie better than the old school? Of course. And another thing that I highly praise about this new version of Magnificent Seven is there's no fucking forced love interest. That was one of the things I just really did not like in the old movie. The villain in this new movie I did not like at all. He was very weak, and you barely even see him throughout the movie. I'll take Eli Wallach over him any day. And for such a smaller movie, I mean, they didn't fight an army in the original one. They fought a lot of dudes, but not an army. It just felt bigger. The stakes felt bigger. You got to know the town a lot more. The town actually helped fight. The town actually betrayed the Magnificent Seven. And that should have been it. I mean, after, we're gonna sacrifice our lives for money or redemption or whatever, and then we just got fucking sold out by the town that we're trying to protect. Fuck this town, man. We're out of here. But even after that, Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen and them still went back to protect that town. I was just a lot more emotionally invested in the original film, rewatching it again. And yeah, the new movie's got all the bells and whistles, but even Denzel Washington's character, and Denzel did a great job in the film, but even at the end of the movie, when you find out his real motivation of why he's helping this town, it was very selfish. And I'm all for revenge movies. I love revenge movies. But the whole team were looking up to Denzel, and they were following his lead because this guy has no reason to be here, but yet he's sacrificing himself for this town, so we're gonna do the same. And everyone was motivated by that. But really, Denzel was all out for himself. Denzel was just out there for revenge on the villain. And that took away a little bit of what the original had, because you have that awesome scene where Yul Brynner shoots Eli Wallach, and Eli Wallach's laying down and he's looking up and there's water in his eyes, and he looks up at Yul Brynner and he just cannot understand. He just cannot fathom, and he asks him, why? Why? These people? For these people? Why? And that's what I really loved about the old movie. There was a little bit more heart there. And to be honest, as entertaining as the movie was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray. I still think it's a very entertaining Western. I still highly recommend you guys watch it. You'll have a good time. But as entertaining as the movie was, let's be honest, everybody pretty much forgot about it after it came out in theater very quickly. Yeah, so my hopes and wishes of this being another Tombstone did not come true. Now here's another Western, also starring Ethan Hawke, that came out the same year, called In a Valley of Violence. I also found this movie entertaining. It's my kind of Western. Dark, gritty, violent. That's the kind of Westerns I like. I was a little bit kind of leery because John Travolta was like the main villain, and I was kind of like, but he was funny. I mean, he did well in the movie. Even though I enjoyed the film, it's definitely not a perfect movie. Some of the acting performances are hit or miss. Some of the scenes in the movie kind of seem ad-libbed between the actors, which felt a little off. But despite its flaws, I was still entertained by the film up until the climax. When the climax came, it was fine, but it felt really rushed, and it kind of fell apart, and it kind of felt like the director didn't really know where we were going. Like, where are we going now in terms of finishing the movie and wrapping up the action finale? Like, what are we doing here? So for me, that kind of hurt the movie. I really wanted to give it a higher rating than Magnificent Seven, but I just couldn't do it. But it's definitely a solid Western. Officer Downe. I saw a scene on Facebook that somebody sent me, and I was just like, okay, I have to see this movie. I was in the mood for a good old-fashioned, over-the-top, violent, excessive, grindhouse type of movie that was hilarious, that didn't take itself seriously, and we got a little bit of that. I was a little bit disappointed with this film. Some members from the metal band Slipknot are in this movie, and it looks like they're having a good time. They're having fun. And if you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, Mr. Kim Coates, he plays the character of Officer Downe, which is based off a graphic novel. And the film has its moments, man. There were some moments where I was laughing, and some very over-the-top violent moments, but man, second half of the movie, I got bored. I was really bored. And some of the action sequences weren't really shot that well. When we had some shaky cam, it was just like, just fucking show Kim Coates, okay? Pull out that big ass fucking gun and blow this guy's fucking head off already. But no, we gotta do this shit. So I was kind of hoping for another hobo with a shotgun type of movie experience, but this movie doesn't even reach Wolf Cop level of entertainment. If any of you out there have ever seen the very first VHS horror anthology film, I'm sure you guys remember the best and first short that involves a female creature. But the crazy thing is that many years later, that same female creature character gets her own full-length movie. I Give You Siren. Had really low expectations, really didn't know what to expect, and it's a very low-budget independent horror movie. So the CGI effects are not good. They're not that good, okay? But the lead actress, man, she kills it in this role. She's very good. Pretty much was entertained with this movie throughout the whole film, except for the ending. The ending wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it just kind of felt like, what was the point? This could have happened many years earlier. When you see the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about, but what happens at the end could have happened a lot sooner, so it was very strange why it didn't happen sooner. But other than that, very entertaining. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Really enjoyed this movie. Now I have to give you guys a warning. This is another very slow burn type of horror thriller. But the film is about a father played by Brian Cox and his son. They're both coroners and they receive a homicide victim. Once they start their process of trying to figure out how the person has died, things happen. And that's all I'm gonna say. And what I really liked about the movie is that the movie is such a small scale movie. It's basically 2 to 3 characters, and they're all in maybe like 2 to 3 rooms, and that's it. That's the whole movie. But yet it felt bigger, and that's credit to the director. The less you know about this movie, the better. Don't watch any trailers. Just check the film out. It's good stuff. My favorite horror film of the year goes to Train to Busan. This film has a very simple plot. A father is taking his daughter on a train to go visit his ex. That's pretty much the movie, but this has got to be one of the best zombie movies I've seen in a very long time. And we're back to Dawn of the Dead remake, running like mad, crazy, insane zombies, okay? We're no slow-ass Walking Dead zombies. So there's definitely some really awesome moments in this film where it's very intense, very exciting. There's some CGI effects that are a little iffy, but they're still well done. Pretty crazy film, man. Pretty crazy, but the one thing that I really wanted more out of the movie is actual practical gore effects. And I would have gave the movie a little bit more higher rating if it had that. I mean, even fucking Shaun of the Dead had practical gore effects. This movie has a lot of blood. okay? But there's really not a lot of damage. You'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movie. I mean, like, you know, biting the neck and the blood squirting and then you can see inside the neck and, you know, crazy shit like that. Biting the brains, I mean, chewing on the brains. You horror fans know what I'm talking about. So despite that, though, definitely a very entertaining movie. Highly recommend you guys check out A Train to Busan. And now for the big one, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I don't know what people were really expecting with this one. The film is a prequel slash spin-off movie slash companion film to episode 4 that's Disney-fied, and there were tons and tons of reshoots and a lot of things were changed. And after all of that, why were people expecting this film to be better than Empire Strikes Back? Me and Lady Fat Blood enjoyed episode 7 for what it was. We enjoyed it. We found it to be funny. We ate the member berries, okay? We drunk the juice, okay? We did. And even though it's not, obviously it's not a perfect film, there's a lot of flaws in episode 7, but we still found it to be entertaining. It brought us back. It felt like Star Wars again. So after that, it's like, okay, we drunk our member berries, or we ate our member berries. Let's go for something different. And that's what we were hoping for and what we got out of Rogue One. The movie was dark and gritty. It felt like a real war. The Rebels side wasn't as squeaky clean as we thought it was. And I like that. And everybody keeps dogging on the soundtrack. It's like, look, okay, John Williams is the man, okay? He's the icon, all right? But he's not gonna be around forever, unfortunately, all right? So there's gonna have to be other people to come in and do the scores, okay? And I thought what Michael did, I mean, he only had like, what, three to 4 weeks to put the score together. I thought he did a pretty good job. Now let's get to everyone's biggest complaint out of the film, and that's the characters. If you guys watch my Movie Dojo videos, you'll know I'm a huge die-hard Donnie Yen fan, so of course I enjoyed him, and he was hilarious in the movie. He was a lot of fun. I even enjoyed his partner, Boz. I enjoyed the characters. Were they memorable characters? Not so much. Would the film have been a lot better if it had a lot more character development? I think so, but the lack of character development in this film really didn't bother me as much as it did Magnificent Seven. Because the whole time I'm like, this is a film about a mission, okay? Gotta quickly put the team together and just go do the mission. That's all I was thinking this whole time. Now, Lady Fat Blood came up with a good idea that this probably would have worked better as a Netflix, like 10-part series. That would have been cool too. But again, as a prequel slash companion piece movie to another movie, I thought it was just fine. The robot in the movie was hilarious, and all of the action in the third act was badass, man. All right, spoiler time. If you don't want spoilers, go ahead and stop the video right now. All right, but here we go. I love the fact, okay, that everyone fucking dies in this movie. That is awesome, okay? A Star Wars movie where all of the heroes die. A Disney-fied, reshot Star Wars movie. The lovable robot that everyone loves had his chance to shine, and then he died. And me and Lady Fat Blood were getting a little bit nervous at first because of all of the extra characters that joined our team to go do the mission. We were like, oh, see, they're punking out, man. They're pussing out. All these other guys are gonna die, and then our main characters will live and blah, 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 whatever. Nope. Everyone dies, and it's beautiful. Whether we got a lot of character development or not, it felt big. It meant something. There was no stupid forced love story in this movie. I mean, this is straight up World War II shit. I mean, the pilot, fucking grenade got thrown on the fucking ship. Boom, bye, you're done. And I was in the theater tripping, man. I was like looking at Lady Fat Blood like, holy shit. Now, whether or not what was cut from the movie was better, we'll never know. Hopefully there'll be some deleted scenes on the Blu-ray that comes out. But still, I was pretty satisfied of what we got. And it's okay if you guys hate this movie. It's perfectly fine if you guys are really disappointed. I just don't understand why people's expectations were so high as it being just as good as Empire Strikes Back. I mean, come on now. And now I have to get to my favorite part of the movie. I'm sure everyone's favorite part of the film. Darth fucking Vader is a fucking badass. When he showed up in the middle of the movie and came out and did his little speech and went away, I literally thought that was it. I did not know that at the end of the movie, he was gonna show up and give us the most badass Darth Vader action sequence we've ever seen. And again, those of you that didn't like the score, listen to that music during that action sequence. It's fucking epic. And another thing a lot of people complain about is the CGI characters, you know, Princess Leia being CGI, and Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, and Tarkin, General Tarkin was CGI, and although the CGI was fine, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't mind-blowing, and you could tell it's CGI, but it wasn't like the worst thing ever. They didn't have to hold the camera shot on Tarkin that long. I mean, less is more, especially when you're doing a full CGI character based on a real actor. But it was fine. It did not hurt the movie for me. So do I consider this the best of the prequels? Yes. Do I highly recommend you guys see this in theater? Yes. So that's it for today's quickie video. I apologize. I know I wanted to speed through all of these, but you know, some of them I had to discuss. There's still a lot of movies I'm still trying to catch up on. I still haven't seen Arrival or Moonlight. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. La La Land, I'll give that a shot, why not? But it's 2017, it's a brand new year. Got brand new movies to check out and review for you guys. So once again, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. You guys rock. I'll see you next time.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.